This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to talk about the diminished value exclusion that was upheld by a court in Ohio and why a repaired auto's value, although diminished, yet an insurer has no obligation to insure against that risk of a loss of value. Yolanda Fincher appealed the judgment of the Hamilton County Municipal Court granting summary judgment in favor of State Farm Mutual Auto Insurance Company. Fincher sued State Farm for the diminished value of her vehicle following a car accident that damaged her car. In a case entitled Yolanda Fincher v. State Farm Mutual, the Court of Appeals of Ohio on May 16, 2025, resolved the claim. Fincher's complaint alleged that on August 4, 2021, she was in a car accident with an uninsured motorist that injured her and damaged her car. She asserted that she retained an insurance contract with State Farm and that the company violated the contract by failing to cover the diminished value of her car. She sought $14,500 in damages, representing the diminished value, together with the vehicle's Kelley Blue Book value plus interest. After State Farm answered the complaint, the matter was referred to a magistrate judge for disposition, and the magistrate scheduled a January 5, 2024 trial date. State Farm filed a motion for summary judgment, arguing in part that it was entitled to judgment as a matter of law because Fincher's policy did not cover diminished value. State Farm supported its summary judgment motion with a certified copy of Fincher's policy, which its records custodian described as State Farm's ordinary business record. Fincher did not respond to State Farm's motion for summary judgment. After the magistrate denied State Farm's summary judgment motion, State Farm objected to the magistrate's decision denying its motion for summary judgment. In its objections, State Farm argued that the magistrate erred because Fincher had failed to rebut the summary judgment motion with disputed facts and because Fincher's policy excluded diminished value coverage. Fincher responded, but she cited no facts and evidence to support those assertions. In its response, State Farm pointed to the lack of evidence supporting Fincher's claim. The trial court ruled on State Farm's objections and sustained State Farm's objection to the magistrate's decision and granted State Farm's motion for summary judgment. The trial court also granted State Farm's motion to strike, and Fincher appealed. The Court of Appeal noted that Fincher contended in response to the motion for summary judgment that the trial court acted unfairly in failing to grant her a continuance based on her legitimate medical records and needs, and asserted that she is entitled to recover for the diminished value of her vehicle because she never received a copy of the policy from State Farm. Summary judgment is proper in Ohio where 1, there is no genuine issue of material fact remaining, 2, the moving party is entitled to judgment as a matter of law, and 3, it appears from the evidence that reasonable minds can come to but one conclusion, even when construing the evidence most strongly in favor of the non-moving party. That conclusion is adverse to the party against whom the motion for summary judgment is made. The moving party has the initial burden of demonstrating its entitlement to summary judgment. State Farm, as the moving party, met its initial burden by informing the trial court of the basis for the motion and identifying the portions of the record that demonstrate that there is an absence of evidence to support the non-moving party's case. Then the non-moving party may not rest upon the mere allegations or denials of the party's pleading. Instead, the non-moving party must set forth specific facts showing that there is a genuine issue for trial. If the non-moving party fails to respond or to support its response with appropriate summary judgment evidence, the trial court may, as it did, grant summary judgment. Since State Farm met its initial burden by presenting a certified copy of Fincher's insurance policy, which excluded coverage for diminished value, once State Farm produced this evidence, the burden shifted to Fincher to provide evidence showing that there remained a genuine issue of material fact for trial. Fincher failed to respond to the motion for summary judgment and failed to sustain her burden as the non-moving party. The trial court's summary judgment decision was, accordingly, correct. The entire purpose of summary judgment is to ascertain whether there were any issues to be tried in the case. Once the trial court determined they were not, it properly vacated the trial and granted the summary judgment. And because Fincher's insurance contract with State Farm does not include diminished value coverage, the trial court did not err in awarding summary judgment to State Farm, and accordingly the judgment of the trial court was affirmed. In my opinion, at one time, making an insurer pay for diminished value of an insured car after it was repaired was exceedingly popular in courts across the country. I even wrote a book about it. Insurers like State Farm, who were made to pay for damages that were not expected or insured against, learned their lesson and put exclusions in the policy. Fincher's policy with State Farm contained that exclusion, so she properly got nothing from her suit. This video was adapted from my blog, Zelma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog, and if you do, you'll receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5 or 6 a week. Please tell your friends and colleagues about the blog and these videos so that they too can subscribe. They're free. And if you're interested in more information about insurance, insurance claims, insurance fraud, and insurance law, please consider, for a very small fee, subscribing to my Substack publication. Thank you for your attention.